On a chilly Halloween night, the town of Spookyville was abuzz with excitement. Children dressed as witches, ghosts, and zombies roamed the streets, eagerly collecting candies. In the heart of the town, a grand mansion stood tall and imposing, its windows glowing eerily. This was the residence of Dracula, the infamous vampire. Dracula had decided to throw a grand Halloween ball. Invitations had been sent out to all the supernatural beings. But there were three names that stood out on the guest list: Frankenstein's monster, Dracula himself, and the Invisible Man. As the clock struck 8, guests began to arrive. The first to make an entrance was Frankenstein's monster, his heavy footsteps echoing in the grand hall. His stitched-up face was adorned with a rare smile. "Ah, my dear friend," exclaimed Dracula, greeting him with a flourish. "It's been ages. How have you been?" "Alive," Frankenstein's monster grunted, a small joke at his own expense. They both laughed, reminiscing about old times. Just then, a cold breeze swept through the room, sending shivers down everyone's spines. Did someone leave a window open? Someone wondered aloud. "No," came a voice from nowhere. "It's just me, the Invisible Man." There was a brief pause before a floating hat and glasses appeared, signaling his presence. Dracula chuckled. "Always one for dramatic entrances, aren't you?" The Invisible Man's laughter echoed in response. As the night progressed, the trio found themselves in a corner of the ballroom, sharing stories from their past adventures. Dracula spoke of his countless conquests, Frankenstein's monster of his quest for acceptance, and the Invisible Man of the challenges of being unseen. Suddenly, the lights dimmed and a spotlight shone on the center stage. A magical performance was about to begin. A sorceress showcased her powers, conjuring flames and levitating objects. Mid-performance, she called upon volunteers. Dracula and Frankenstein's monster eagerly stepped forward, curious about the spectacle that was to unfold. With a wave of her wand, she turned Dracula into a bat. The guests cheered, delighted by the transformation. But when she tried to revert him back, something went amiss. Dracula remained a bat, fluttering anxiously. The sorceress panicked, unsure of how to fix her mistake. Frankenstein's monster tried to calm the distressed creature, while the Invisible Man tried to comfort the worried guests. "I think I know someone who can help," the Invisible Man whispered to Frankenstein's monster. He quickly left the mansion in search of assistance. Meanwhile, the sorceress, filled with remorse, tried various spells to no avail. The guests murmured amongst themselves, worried about their host. The Invisible Man returned with an old witch named Esmeralda. Known for her expertise in undoing magical mishaps, she was the town's best hope. Esmeralda chanted an ancient spell, her voice echoing throughout the ballroom. Slowly, Dracula began to transform, his wings shrinking and his human form re-emerging. The guests erupted into applause. Dracula, looking slightly disoriented but otherwise unharmed, thanked Esmeralda for her timely intervention. The party continued, but the mood had changed. The supernatural beings realized the fragility of their existence and the importance of unity in times of crisis. As dawn approached, the guests began to depart. Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and the Invisible Man stood on the mansion's balcony, watching the sun rise. "This was a night to remember," Dracula mused. "Indeed," agreed the Invisible Man. "It reminds us of the unpredictable nature of life and magic." Frankenstein's monster nodded. "And the importance of friendship. Without you two by my side, tonight could have ended very differently." The trio embraced, grateful for the bond they shared. They promised to meet more often and watch out for each other. As the first rays of sunlight touched the town, Dracula retired to his coffin, while Frankenstein's monster and the Invisible Man decided to take a walk. They strolled through the empty streets, reminiscing about the night's events. The town, once filled with laughter and screams, was now silent, basking in the morning glow. "Every Halloween has its own story," remarked the Invisible Man. "And this one will be told for generations to come." Frankenstein's monster nodded in agreement. "It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's always a glimmer of hope." As the sun rose higher, the two friends parted ways, promising to meet again soon. The town of Spookyville slowly woke up, unaware of the magical events that had transpired. And so, another Halloween came to an end, leaving behind memories, lessons, and tales of friendship that would last a lifetime.